In a world governed by gravity and time, one man dared to ask, what lies beyond? Born under the shadow of war, silenced by disease, but never by doubt, this is the extraordinary journey of Stephen Hawking. A mind that traveled the universe, even as his body stayed still. Stephen Hawking, a life written in the stars. Stephen William Hawking was born on January 8, 1942, in Oxford, England, during the turbulence of World War II. His birth coincided with the 300th anniversary of Galileo Galilei's death, a poetic beginning for someone destined to become one of the greatest scientific minds of our time. Early life and education. Stephen grew up in a family that valued intellect and curiosity. His father, Frank Hawking, was a medical researcher, and his mother, Isabel, worked as a secretary at a medical institute. Despite modest means, the Hawking household was intellectually vibrant. Books lined the walls, and dinner conversations often revolved around science and philosophy. As a child, Stephen wasn't considered a prodigy. In fact, he was ranked near the bottom of his class at times, but he had a deep fascination with how things worked. He loved building model airplanes and creating complex board games with his friends. One of his most impressive childhood feats was building a rudimentary computer using recycled parts to solve mathematical equations. At age 17, Stephen entered University College, Oxford, to study physics. He had wanted to study mathematics, but Oxford didn't offer a specialized degree in the subject. He found the coursework easy and often spent more time socializing than studying. Yet, he graduated with honors and moved on to Cambridge University in 1962 to pursue a PhD in cosmology. The diagnosis that changed everything. Shortly after arriving at Cambridge, Stephen began experiencing clumsiness and slurred speech. At age 21, he was diagnosed with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, a motor neuron disease that gradually paralyzes the body. Doctors gave him just 2 years to live. Initially devastated, Stephen withdrew from his studies and social life. But a dream, where he was to be executed, shook him into action. He realized that life was precious and finite, and he resolved to make the most of it. As he later said, "Before my condition was diagnosed, I had been very bored with life. There had not seemed to be anything worth doing." This turning point marked the beginning of a life defined not by limitations, but by possibilities. Scientific breakthroughs. Despite the progression of ALS, Stephen's mind remained razor sharp. He began working on the nature of black holes and the origins of the universe. His collaboration with mathematician Roger Penrose led to the singularity theorems, which showed that the universe must have begun as a singularity, a point of infinite density. His most famous contribution came in 1974 when he proposed that black holes aren't entirely black. Instead, they emit radiation, now known as Hawking radiation, and can eventually evaporate. This groundbreaking theory bridged quantum mechanics and general relativity, two pillars of modern physics that had long been at odds. Stephen's work revolutionized our understanding of the cosmos. He explored concepts like imaginary time, micro-black holes, and the multiverse theory, always pushing the boundaries of what we thought possible. Making science accessible. In 1988, Stephen published A Brief History of Time, a book that aimed to explain complex scientific ideas to the general public. It became a global bestseller, selling over 25 million copies and translated into dozens of languages. The book tackled questions like, what is time? How did the universe begin? Is there a boundary to the universe? Despite its dense subject matter, the book captivated readers worldwide and made Stephen a household name. He followed it with other popular works, including The Universe in a Nutshell, The Grand Design, and Black Holes and Baby Universes. Stephen's ability to communicate science with clarity and wit made him a beloved figure far beyond academia. Life with ALS. As ALS progressed, Stephen lost the ability to speak and relied on a speech-generating device controlled by a single cheek muscle. He used a wheelchair and required round-the-clock care. Yet he continued to travel, lecture, and write. He once said, "Although I cannot move and I have to speak through a computer, in my mind I am free." This sentiment captured the essence of his spirit. Undaunted by physical constraints, his intellect soared across galaxies. Stephen married Jane Wilde in 1965, and they had 3 children, Robert, Lucy, and Timothy. Jane played a crucial role in supporting Stephen during the early years of his illness. Their marriage eventually ended, and Stephen later married Elaine Mason, one of his nurses. Honors and recognition. Stephen held the prestigious Lucasian Professorship of Mathematics at Cambridge University for 30 years, a position once held by Isaac Newton. He was elected a Fellow of the Royal Society and received numerous awards, including the Presidential Medal of Freedom, Copley Medal, and Fundamental Physics Prize. He appeared in documentaries, gave TED Talks, and even made cameo appearances in shows like The Simpsons, Star Trek, and The Big Bang Theory. His voice and image became symbols of brilliance and perseverance. Final years and legacy. Stephen Hawking passed away on March 14, 2018 at the age of 76, coincidentally on Albert Einstein's birthday. His death marked the end of an era, but his legacy continues to illuminate the path for scientists, thinkers, and dreamers. His ashes were interred in Westminster Abbey near the graves of Isaac Newton and Charles Darwin, a fitting tribute to a man who expanded our understanding of the universe. Lessons from his life. Stephen Hawking's story is not just about science, it's about defying odds. He showed that physical limitations need not define one's potential. His life teaches us, curiosity fuels greatness. He never stopped asking questions. Resilience is power. He turned a terminal diagnosis into a lifelong mission. Knowledge is for everyone. He made science accessible and engaging. Freedom is a state of mind. Even when his body failed, his mind remained limitless. Stephen Hawking once said, "Look up at the stars and not down at your feet." His life was a testament to that philosophy, a journey of wonder, courage, and cosmic exploration. This is Stephen Hawking's legacy, a cosmic odyssey that proves the most powerful force in the universe is the human spirit.